Hey, how's it going? My name's Haphazard. I'm going to be casting in the Starcraft 2 1v1 action. This is the first time I've done this in quite a while, and I'm very excited to be doing it once more. But my apologies if I sound a bit rusty. Granted, I'm not going to sound rusty because I've never really actually done this before, so it'll just be a brand new experience mostly for me. Anyways, this is going to be a 1v1 between two pro-level players. In the bottom left position of Sakura's Plateau, we have Inori, TSL's Inori, spawning as Red Protoss. In the bottom right, we have Millennium's ForGG spawning as Blue Terran. Now, this is a map that has been... Actually, before I talk about the map, I'd like to talk about the tournament that this game was played in, because it's something that I've only recently found out about and is very unique compared to all the other tournaments that you really hear about. And this tournament is the HP Trophy, which is sponsored by Hewlett Packard and Intel, two very large technology companies. And what makes it unique is that players are teamed up in teams of two instead of just being by themselves representing their teams. They're actually paired with the player from a different team, in most cases. And they play 1v1s against the corresponding teammate. Actually, I think the order is they play those after, but first they play a 2v2 where both of them are, of course, competing against the other team. Now, this is something that hasn't really been incorporated into StarCraft 2 whatsoever yet. We haven't really seen any professional 2v2 games, so it's very interesting to know that it actually does exist in some shape and form. Now, this game is from this tournament, and it is much more standard because we are just going to be seeing a 1v1 situation. Let's just talk about the builds for a little bit. It looks like Inori is going to be opening very standard. He's getting his gateway, and his assimilator timing is completely standard. He's going to be getting his pylon at a normal time as well. Same time, we see ForGG is going for that classic 1-Rax expansion by the looks of it. He is throwing in the supply depot that isn't quite built. This is just to prevent any sort of scouting, which keeps your opponent in the dark, and is also always something that's good to have, is that factor of surprise. If your opponent doesn't know what you're doing, they have to account for the things that they don't know, which is pretty much everything in this case. He could be doing any number of strategies with this build. However, since Inori is scouting quite late, it's not actually going to make a big difference, because ForGG will probably reveal his tech by the time it shows up, and indeed it looks like he will. There goes the command center being built, and here comes the scouting probe. And ForGG is going to be able to delay this, but that won't tell very much. Of course, he could be going for some sort of factory play, but more than likely it will be some sort of marine composition with focus on marines and medevacs and marauders. Classic MMM, really. We do see that ForGG will see the scouting zealot come out, and the scouting zealot will turn around, or apparently he won't. Just a little bit of indecisiveness coming from Inori. Nothing to really account for any sort of changes in the game. We do see that ForGG's scouting timing is quite good. He's going to see that there's only one geyser. He's going to see that the core is being corona boosted, I think. Yes, he will see that. And he won't see the 3 gateways going down, but that's not a huge deal. He knows that some sort of aggression is coming his way just because he hasn't been corona boosted his Nexus very much. And his response is to get a bunker, and that makes complete sense. He's not going to stop this. He's not freaking out, of course. You really shouldn't against any sort of 4-gate. Going for a 1-Rax fast expansion is a very safe build, except for against the most aggressive of early pressures. That's why we saw that he went for the wall off very quickly to stop any sort of 2-gate zealot all-in sort of thing. Completely denies that by having this walled off. Anyways, we will see a second bunker going down. This is very standard as a response to seeing such a fast chrono boost on the core. And we actually see that Inori is going for a full 5 gateways here, which is something that is completely out of the ordinary. You can do a 4-gate and still have quite a bit of economy behind it. You can expand eventually. But if you're going 5-gate, you're going to be completely dedicated to producing units and nothing else. This basically shows us that Inori is completely going all in at this point, and he has no backup plan if this fails. So that's something that's interesting. We do see that ForGG actually has not gotten any geysers yet. He is completely on non-upgraded marines, which is something that is kind of an awkward situation to be in. Of course, when you have 3 bunkers at the front, you are completely fine in any sort of situation, in my opinion, this early on. There are very few builds that will actually be able to crush this, even if you're going for the full 5 gateways and are going completely all in. All in all, I think ForGG is feeling very secure behind these bunkers. again, if I was him, I'd be worried that I might have overreacted just because he doesn't know exactly what's going on. But this is definitely going to stop any sort of notions of him having the wrong idea, because here comes a huge attack. He now knows exactly what Inori is doing, and he knows that he prepared for it perfectly. We do see that one bunker goes down, as well as quite a few Marines. However, the amount of damage that was caused to Inori comparatively is huge compared to what ForGG faced. This can put him in a fantastic position, and this pretty much damages any hopes of this attack actually doing much. But again, with the 5 gateways, there's not really a bunch that Inori can do. He's invested a lot into this attack, which means he's pretty much forced to make this work or just GG out of the game. ForGG is wisely putting on the bunker. He is not he's not feeling any sort of pressure, really. I'm sure he is, actually. It looks like he did get supply blocked, so maybe that was partly pressure that he actually had to happen. But all in all, supplies are still even. We do see a lot of zealots on the field now. Looking at the workers count, we do see that Inori actually doesn't even have full saturation on his one base, which is quite interesting. I guess, did his probe get picked off? I think it did. It was probably absorbing a little bit of the attacks of the Marines. But all in all, Inori isn't in a very good situation right now. He has a lot of units outside the base. 10 zealots, 5 stalkers, 3 sentries versus a whopping 24 Marines with 3 bunkers. In a lot of cases, this wouldn't be enough, but with 3 bunkers, it doesn't really even matter how many force fields you have. There are just too many bunkers. SUVs will find a way to get in there and repair, which pretty much makes the low DPS of stalkers not really do much. You can pretty much repair faster than they can do damage. This makes a great situation for the Terran player, and it looks like Inori is just biding his time, trying to find the optimal amount of units before he tries to break this front. And we'll see if he actually manages to get it. It looks like I have very large doubts that he will be able to do anything, however. He only has 2 force fields after using the Guardian Shield. That's not enough to stop these SUVs from doing their critical repairs. You do see, of course, one bunker does go down, and it looks like the second one will as well. This one probably will also, once its focus fired, and it will. However, there are just so many units here, especially the SUVs are extremely important in this situation, because they can just take so much damage. A couple more zealots warping on the high ground, but they're not really going to be able to do much. It would take quite a bit of micro to stop focus firing these SUVs, and they're pretty much just going to take all of the hits and let the high DPS of the Marines and, of course, the Marauder finish off all these units. Inori, of course, isn't going to back out at this point because he has no option but to keep on trying. But all in all, it looks like he's not going to be able to succeed at his task of totally and utterly killing ForGG. It looks like, indeed, there are too many units here, and that's going to be the end of this, I think. I don't see any way for Inori to really come back from this after being so all-in. He only has 21 probes. He has no expansion up. He has no tech. Nope, no tech at all. Just 5 gateways and a lot of broken dreams. That's all he really has going for him right now. Stim is even finished, and that's it. Stim's the nail in the coffin. Inori is forced to GG and leave the game. So that was quite a fast game. And it just shows you what a good player ForGG is. So I'm very glad I was able to see that. I play Terran myself, and I don't usually go for no gas 4x in response to seeing a Chrono Boost on a Cybernetic score that early, but it worked out extremely well for ForGG by having all those bunkers up. He really was able to shut down any sort of early aggression. So that's it. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and hopefully I'll be able to do this more. I'll actually feel like I did a good job, or at least good enough to upload it. So thank you for watching once again, and have a good night.